Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you Larry Williams' strategy, the very one that made him Larry Williams. If you don't know, he's the guy who set the record for trading returns, over 11,000% per year. And he did it all publicly. Back in 1987, he won the Robbins World Cup Trading Championship. It's probably not Tony Robinson, must have been some other Robinson. So, he started with an initial deposit of $10,000, and in a year, he made over $1,100,000. And keep in mind, $1,100,000 in 1987 is nowhere near the same as $1,000,000 today, not even close. It's probably 10 times more, if you know what I mean. There was no crypto back then, no high volatility assets. There were just the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and slow-growing Coca-Cola. And he made that kind of money in that market. I was just 2 years old when he made his first $1,000,000. And at the same time, he became a trading legend. And since this was quite a long time ago, of course, this strategy has long been analyzed and is now well understood. There are already plenty of videos about it. You can find tons of them online. Just search for the strategy that Larry Williams used to make $1,000,000, and you'll find a bunch of videos showing how this strategy basically works. But since my channel is about algo trading, I'm not going to show you how all of this works in detail. Well, actually, I will show you a bit, just so you get the idea, but I'm going to give you a ready-made buy. In other words, I'll give you a fully assembled strategy, the very one Larry Williams used to make his millions and win the competition. And of course, it will be open source, so you can keep improving it just like I do, and like my subscribers do. But I'll talk more about that a bit later. For now, please give me a like so my videos get promoted on YouTube. Leave a comment for the same reason. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. Alright, let's get into it. So how did this idea even come about? How did the idea to create a strategy like this based on Larry Williams arise? Honestly, it came about pretty much by accident. Not too long ago, we had a call in my Telegram channel. The link to it will, of course, be in the description, where I talked with some folks from the channel about how I could share my knowledge, meaning what I do and, more importantly, how I do it with other people. And we decided to create what is probably the first algo trading club in the Russian-speaking community. Maybe it's not actually the first, but I just couldn't find another algo trading club where they don't just give you or sell you access to some ready-made strategies. Those do exist, but where they actually teach you how to create a strategy from anything, from scratch, just from an idea or even without an idea, just from a YouTube video. You watch a YouTube video, create a strategy, make it profitable, and launch it on an exchange. Any exchange, really. I just haven't found anything like that in the Russian-speaking community. If you know of one, let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to check out my fellow colleagues in the field. And maybe then we won't be called the first algo club anymore, or the first algo trading club in the Russian-speaking community. But for now, that's how I see it. And let's say, to get some practice before opening the club. To practice and see if I can actually teach people, I asked my subscribers to suggest a video, or maybe a strategy, so that together with you, with them, and with you as well, and maybe you're even one of my subscribers, we put together a strategy publicly, and everyone, let's say, got a little practiced in this business. Some guys jumped into the comments, threw out a few strategies, and I see, Larry Williams, wow, that's a trading legend. And here's his strategy. It's described right here. Seems pretty clear. Well, what else is there to do? I mean, should I stop? No, I have to go for it, and do exactly this one, because, well, Larry Williams, he's basically the embodiment of the American dream, you know? So, this is a poor guy who didn't have a dime to his name, but thanks to his smarts, and using the stock market, he achieved incredible results. I mean, that's what everyone wants, right? That's why I decided that this is the exact strategy we're going to put together. By the way, this very video wasn't sent by a subscriber. I watched it myself, studied the strategy carefully, and after a thorough, detailed analysis, we actually did a live call in our Telegram channel where we broke down how to build a strategy from the video, so that it really works, sells, and does everything else, and meets all the requirements laid out in the video. And one of the subscribers even made a website breaking down this strategy, complete with a checklist on how to build the strategy from the video, and what not to forget. Here's the website. You see, we broke down the strategies. The main goal what we are trying to achieve, the key parameters of the strategy, where it works, the indicators we'll use for this strategy, the entry and exit logic, visualization examples, even risk management, improvements that we plan to make later, and a checklist of what you shouldn't forget to make sure this strategy works. Yep, that's how awesome my subscribers are. So if you want to become one of them, you're more than welcome to join my Telegram channel. We'll keep improving this strategy there during our next call, and you can still make it and take part in it. But first, I probably need to show you the actual strategy, what we came up with, and why we decided it needs improvement. Take a look. This is what the strategy looks like in real life. It's the Donchian Channels, Larry Williams strategy. It was developed for 5-minute charts, for volatile assets on a 5-minute time frame. But I have a lot of questions about what was considered a volatile asset back in 1987. Reminder, I was 2 years old at the time. It's as if assets back then weren't nearly as volatile as they are now. But overall, I'm just giving you the basics here, and then I'll explain what we're going to do with it next. So, in this strategy, Larry Williams uses the Donchian channels in a non-standard way. That is, not for bouncing off the channel toward the center, like it's usually done, but for breakouts. So, when these support and resistance levels are broken, that's when we enter a trade. Look, for example, if the price breaks through the previous 3 candles. In other words, we set a restriction, which we refined ourselves, so that the level we're breaking has to have held for at least 3 candles. So if it breaks through, and at the same time the LWTI indicator, that's how it's written, Larry Williams Large Trade Index, is green and the volume on that candle is above average, we open a trade. If it breaks down, we go short. If it breaks up, we would go long. We broke down. So here we open a short position. This is our take profit, and this is our stop loss. The stop loss is set at the middle line of the Donchian channel with a small threshold. Here, you can see it says stop loss offset from Donchian middle, 0.1%. The price will move away from the channel up or down, depending on whether it's a short or a long. And the risk and reward ratio is different for long and short. It's 1.7. Accordingly, all the values of all the filters that are used are displayed here in the table, so you can check them during backgussing. And also, our Donchian channel has a length of 96. And the LWTI uses a period of 25, smoothing by SMA, and a smoothing period of 20. With these parameters, according to Larry Williams, the strategy should be able to make some money on volatile assets. What is it running on right now? On the 5-minute hype. Well, so far it doesn't really look like a super profitable asset, does it? At the same time, if you change the time frame to 7 minutes and set the risk reward to 1.5 for long and 1.8 for short, it becomes much more interesting. Wouldn't you agree? And now it's already profitable. Right now, you can repeat all my settings, and it will already start earning you something. But honestly, it's still not a stable or impressive strategy yet. That's why, in our Telegram channel, the link will be in the description, you'll also find the entire website we used to put this together, with all the parameters you need to remember. You'll also find a video of our call, a full recording where I go over all of this, and where we develop this strategy together. And where I point out 2 critical mistakes in algo trading that you also need to know about. All of this is in that awesome Telegram channel, which you definitely need to subscribe to if you haven't already for some reason. There will soon be a second call about this strategy, where we'll refine it further. We'll come up with some tools that will make this strategy better, that will make it more stable, that will make it more profitable, by filtering out bad trades or improving entry points. And you can still take part in this live, right on the air. So come join us, subscribe. See you all later.